House of the Dragon is a screen adaptation of George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, and just like with Game of Thrones, there were several changes from the book when transitioning Fire and Blood to the show. Fear not, change can be a good thing, and in this case, most of the changes were for the best. How is House of the Dragon different from Fire and Blood? Keep watching to find out the details. Firstly, Daemon in the books was better than in the House of the Dragon series. If you believe Daemon Targaryen was treated unfairly in House of the Dragon, wait until you hear what book fans have to say. Although Daemon Targaryen is the subject of an unprecedented amount of affection, many House of the Dragon fans feel that the series have wronged the character. In addition to how he interacted with his wives, it also pertains to his response to the Casus Belli in episode 10, immediately before Dance of the Dragons erupted. According to the television series, Daemon is a belligerent who exhorts Rhaenyra to quickly initiate a war with the Greens to reclaim her kingdom. When she doesn't immediately seem to agree, he even goes as far as to choke her. But as a Twitter user pointed out, Daemon is quite different in the books. According to the novel, Rhaenys, not Daemon, was the one who argued in favor of employing the dragons against the Greens. The showrunners, however, appear to have flipped them. While Daemon's actively waging war, Rhaenys is clearly undecided about whether or not to take part. Fans earlier criticized the creators of House of the Dragon for cutting scenes in which Daemon is seen comforting his children, Baela and Rhaena, following the loss of their mother, Laena. They claim that House of the Dragon is consciously attempting to eliminate Daemon's human moments. Season 2 will allow the showrunners to disprove the critics. The filming scheduled to start in March 2023, and HBO will reveal the launch date later. How is House of the Dragon different from George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood? Firstly, it's a history book versus a TV show. The distinct structure of each piece is initially where Fire and Blood and House of the Dragon diverge most. Fire and Blood is written as a history book by the fictional Archmaester Gyldain, but House of the Dragon is a narrative TV series that only adapts a small fraction of the centuries-long history described in Fire and Blood. Gyldain explains his various sources for his writing in Fire and Blood, particularly in the Dance of the Dragon section. In addition to contradicting tales from maesters and septons, these sources also contain a court gesture by the name of Mushroom. Each source gives us a somewhat different perspective on significant events that occur behind closed doors, Rashomon style, with Mushroom's stories typically being the most intense and lascivious. Although House of the Dragon does not feature characters like Mushroom, it will be interesting to watch what turn of events House of the Dragon decides to depict, because it will need to decide on some of Fire and Blood's most contentious moments. Secondly, a tournament and a birth. Two significant occasions, the birth of King Viserys and Queen Aemma's baby, and the celebration tournament, are the focal points of the first episode of House of the Dragon. Fighting scenes such as the fight between Prince Daemon and Ser Criston Cole are shown alongside Queen Aemma's grueling labor to drive home the point she made to her daughter Rhaenyra earlier, that childbirth is a woman's battleground. Although Aemma's labor and the tournament that introduces Criston do not occur simultaneously in the novels, combining them was a wise decision. We get the previously indicated thematic parallels in addition to a nice old-fashioned tournament in the Game of Thrones tradition. The opulent ceremony also serves as a reminder of the significance to a male heir to the throne. If Aemma has a son, peace is likely to last. If not, concerns about the succession plan will linger. Fire and Blood doesn't go into great depth about Aemma's passing while giving birth. However, several people in the book experience Viserys' conundrum on whether to kill Aemma to ensure his son's birth. Queen Alyssa Valerian, the mother of King Jaehaerys, endures a traumatic birth much earlier in the Targaryen dynasty. While there is still a chance that they can save the child, the master tending to her informs her husband Lord Roger Baratheon that Alyssa is almost certain to die. Roger decides to save the infant. The third difference is about childhood friends, Rhaenyra and Alicent. Rhaenyra and Alicent's friendship is given prominent attention from the beginning of House of the Dragon, which is a wise choice. The Dance of the Dragons is caused by the split between them, therefore it's natural that House of the Dragon starts working on their relationship immediately. Rhaenyra and Alicent aren't very close in Fire and Blood before Alicent marries King Viserys, but they become fast friends in House of the Dragon. Their in-show childhood friendship promises to make their breakup more devastating, which will give later episodes even more emotional weight. Next up, the showdown at Dragonstone. The Rogue Prince, the second episode of House of the Dragon, gives us a sneak peek at what full Targaryen on Targaryen violence would entail. King Viserys won't stand for Prince Daemon stealing a dragon egg with the intention of giving it to his kid with paramour Mysaria. In order to receive the egg, he sent his hand, Lord Otto Hightower, to Dragonstone. But a Hightower alone won't be enough to convince Daemon to rethink his mind. Rhaenyra and her dragon Syrax arrive on Dragonstone just as fighting between Otto's soldiers and Daemon's gold cloaks is about to start. She challenges Daemon to kill her if he genuinely desires to be the heir. He gives up and gives the egg back, and the meeting ends amicably. Rhaenyra joyously makes her way back to King's Landing, only to encounter Viserys' wrath for her disobedience. The egg saga is extensively covered in The Rogue Prince, although Martin only briefly discusses it in Fire and Blood. The book states that Prince Daemon surprised his concubine with a dragon's egg after learning that she was expecting a child, which infuriated his brother. He was given the order by King Viserys to give back the egg, send his whore away, and go back to his legal wife or else he'd be executed as a traitor. Even yet, the prince did it with poor grace. The passage's adaptation in House of the Dragon may be clearly seen when compared to its original version. Make a significant event from the novel the center of an episode while including more of your main characters, like Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is pitted against both her father and her uncle in the Dragonstone confrontation, as it is depicted in the program. This makes it clear to us how much she can contribute and how hard it will be for her to overcome gender stereotypes and get acceptance as a potential heir. We'll now go into the second half of today's list. Fifth on the list is Alicent and Viserys. In House of the Dragon, King Viserys makes the same marriage decision as in Fire and Blood. Before his passing, the former King Jaehaerys is said to have been Alicent's companion in the novel, but little else is said about her until the marriage announcement. She allegedly had intercourse with Daemon, Jaehaerys, and even Viserys when he was still wed to Queen Aemma, according to more dubious sources. Thankfully, the show stays away from this path. In the television series, Alicent is under pressure from her father, the cunning Otto Hightower, to win Viserys' affection. Despite her obvious discomfort, she complies, posing as Viserys' companion, much like she did for Jaehaerys in Fire and Blood. Early evidence of her cleverness and manipulation comes from her contacts with the king. Additionally, they keep preparing for the impending conflict between her and Rhaenyra. Next, House of the Dragon goes hunting. Second of his name, the third episode of House of the Dragon takes us on a hunting trip that is incredibly tense for everyone concerned. The hunt is a grandiose celebration of Aegon's second name day for Viserys and Alicent. Rhaenyra is understandably anxious as the emergence of a new male heir raises concerns about her future. She refuses advances from guys like Jason Lannister as the festivities get started, unites with her sworn protector Ser Criston Cole, and gets all stabby-stabby with a boar. Rhaenyra had an all-around productive weekend. And guess what? None of this is mentioned in Fire and Blood. The celebrations given in honor of Alicent's children are mentioned in the book, but they're never fully explored on a scene level. Similar reasoning can be applied to Jason Lannister's failed marriage proposal. One passage suggests that he and his twin brother Tyland made an effort to win her over on a visit to Casterly Rock. Next, farewell to Otto. In episode 4, Viserys finally realizes Otto's craftiness and ambition, but only after Rhaenyra makes the observation. Viserys hears some truth in her comments, despite her attempts to allay suspicions about her relationship with a Daemon, and removes Otto as hand. Otto is fired by Viserys in Fire and Blood as he continues to press for Alicent's son to be designated heir. This occurs long before Rhaenyra's scandal. Thus, House of Dragon is tying together several different strands here. It's a good decision. Rhaenyra now actively contributed to Otto's firing, thus escalating the rift between her and Alicent. Lastly, death by Dracarys. There are other House of the Dragon characters who perish in a fire in episode 6 besides Harwin and Lionel. Dragon rider Laena Velaryon, who was Daemon's second wife, joins them in a fiery death. Laena passes away after a terrifying childbirth in Fire and Blood. Before she passes away, she makes one final attempt to mount her dragon Vhagar, but she collapses and dies before she can reach her. To put it mildly, House of the Dragon puts things in a more dramatic direction. Laena, who's in great anguish, reaches Vhagar in House of the Dragon, but instead of attempting to fly, she utters the iconic words, Dracarys. Vhagar decides to put Laena on fire after some initial hesitation. We've come to the end of today's video. There are several other ways in which Fire and Blood differ from House of the Dragon. Which other differences did you notice? Let us know in the comment section. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.